Welcome to another video of Hope Collides. Today, I want to talk about when I used to travel around playing music. I was very fortunate. I've already talked a bit about how I went to Honduras and how it turned out to be a great experience. Well, back in 2008, I applied to travel with this organization, Youth Encounter, to play music. Didn't expect to get accepted, and really, I only applied to make people happy. I was a huge and people pleaser. I still am, but not nearly to the extent I was. And I applied just to make people happy. And then I got to the second level of the application process, and there were, I think, about a dozen essays I had to fill out and more questions, and it was a long process. So I did it, again, to make people happy. And then I get called for an interview, and then I get a second interview. Like, what is going on? And I'm glad they took it seriously, but I couldn't believe I got past the first level of the application process, let alone get through level 5 and then get my letter of call in the mail. It was a really intense application process. But I didn't expect to do it, and I really only did it to make people happy. So I went around and met a lot of people, learned how to play bass. Now I still play bass, still have contact with many of the people I met, but gained a lot of experience. That's how I realized I wanted to get into youth ministry, and why I wanted to work with teens is because of this. So God wanted me to go. He didn't need me. God doesn't need me. He doesn't need anything, but he chose me, and that's a huge blessing. He chose me. But that experience, that 1 year that I didn't want to do in the beginning, eventually turned into 2 years, and eventually turned into what I'm now doing full-time, youth ministry. No, it's not with Youth Encounter, but because I left and traveled with Youth Encounter, I realized I want to work with teens, which eventually turned into working at a summer camp. I worked 5 summers at camp, and then turned into working part-time ministry. Now it's full-time ministry. It made me realize that I don't know if these students feel loved at home, don't know if these students feel loved at school, don't know if these students feel loved anywhere, but I want to make sure that they know that I love them, but more importantly, Jesus loves them, and that would have not happened had I not applied to Youth Encounter in the first place, and then travel with them for what was supposed to be 1 year and turned into 2. And one of the greatest experiences of my life. I want to let you know that God will take these things that are scary and these things that maybe you don't want to do and turn them into one of the greatest experiences of your life. And eventually that could lead into your future, into what you end up doing, and whether it's full-time ministry or another job or another experience. These things you don't want to do could turn into the biggest blessing of your life, and could really end up changing who you think you're going to become in the future, because God's plan is greater than your plan. So we need to learn to submit to him and what he wants, even if it's not necessarily what we want, because it'll be a blessing. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.